Report story. Yes, Mom. I'm doing all right, promise. Izuku said, holding the phone up with his ear with his shoulder as he scrubbed away at the dishes. Ochako was humming quietly next to him, drying off dishes and putting them away as Izuku finished washing. Izuku, I'm just worried about you. I haven't spoken to you in so long. Inko said over the phone. Izuku smiled sadly a bit as he continued scrubbing away. I know, Mom. I'm sorry, but I am on an important mission. I need to have proper control over my quirk in order to succeed all might. You know what I aspire to be. I know, Izuku, I know. It's just sending students away across the country. That's a big sudden deal. I wish they would have consulted me first. Mom, it's more of a study abroad than anything. If anything, this is a great experience. I've got a wonderful place here. Ochako is happily with me. Ochako shot him a kissy face look after he said that. And it's beautiful here. I'm having a great time. Promise. Izuku said sincerely. Izuku heard Inko sigh over the phone. All right then. Oh wait, is Katsuki treating you okay? He's not bullying you, is he? I don't like that they sent him with you, she said worriedly. Izuku frowned a bit. Ka-chan and I are getting along fine. We had a bit of a disagreement, but we're okay for the most part. Hopefully. A disagreement means there was a debate, and a debate means you stood your ground. I'm happy with that, Inko said, sounding a bit relieved. Okay then, Izuku, I'll let you go then. I love you. Tell Ochako I said I love her. Mom said she loves you, Izuku said, leaning towards Ochako a bit. Ochako smiled brightly. I love you too, Mom. She said out loud for Inko to hear. Inko chuckled. Oh, and Izuku, I checked the upcoming weather out there. Apparently there's a prediction there might be a snowstorm headed there. Inko said a bit worriedly. Izuku laughed. This late into the winter? I doubt it, Mom, and if it does, it can't be more than a light snow. We'll be all right. Okay. Just be sure of that. Bye, son. Bye, Mom. Izuku took the phone after shaking his hand a bit to get water off, and pocketing the device. He sighed. What's wrong, Izuku? You look like you've had something on your mind these last few days. Ochako asked, her hands slowing down on the drying motions. It had been a week since the students and Horned Girl had moved into the mountains. Izuku and Ochako were happily living as a couple, taking daily visits to see the weak telepathic in the forest, leaving Bakugo with airy duty every now and then. Ka-chan and I haven't really spoken since we started taking care of Hima, Izuku said, looking a bit down. His status with Bakugo had seemingly had development, however that development came to a crash when Hima came into the picture. It's nonsense, Ochako said, roughly putting a plate in one of the cabinets. What's his deal? She needed help. I think something's bothering him. Usually, even if he acts like he doesn't care, he'll usually do something in order to help. I just dunno what's got him so upset about her, Izuku said, letting the water and suds drain from the sink. He shook his hands free of soap, placing the remaining suds on Ochako's nose. Ochako giggled and shook her head, relieving herself of the suds. Well, whatever he's thinking, it's mean. Are you sure we should be letting Eri spend time with him? Ochako asked. Izuku squinted his eyes and looked at her. Promoted stories. You'll also like. Symbol of Hope, Izuku X hair, named weapon of a true hero. This is the old version. The new rewrite can be found in Archive of Our Own, under a new name. Red Halo heroes today are corrupted by falling 71.8k 1.3 kever. Since Izuku Midoriya joined UA high school and settled in, he knew that the League of Villains were after him and his quirk, one for all. However, when the time see, I can't lose you warning. Spoiler warning. Mentions of the events leading up to, including and following the internship arc warning. Katsuki has always been bad at expressing his feelings, but when H. The paths he chooses. Book 1. A Fate of Few. S. A normal day for Izuku as he completes his normal routine and goes to school. Along the way he runs into Yui Kodai, a quiet and mysterious girl of Class 1B, the Black Lady of the Night. Vigilante hero was out one night and saw a person fighting a whole group of villains all by themselves, but the problem is that they're badly injured and no one knows. Dream on B. K. Downwards arrow tip rightwards, in which a jealous bachelor signs a deal with the devil in order to win over the heart of his first love. Katsuki Bakugo has loved the PR. Revenge of the wronged hero who happens to be. One could have thought that someone as pure and innocent as Izuku Midoriya would be betrayed by his friends who he thought that he could trust with everything he has. What makes you say that? Despite how he acts towards Hima, he has a surprising soft spot for Eri. He said, watching Ochako finish drying the dishes, leaning on the edge of the counter. Ochako gave Izuku a confused look. Bakugo. With a soft spot, Ochako asked. Izuku nodded. Yup. He'll let her in her room and he'll just be reading. Or he'll cook for her, even sometimes play a few games with her. Izuku said. Ochako looked shocked. You're saying Bakugo is good with kids. But, he's Bakugo. That doesn't make sense. And why do you know about this? Bakugo would have never told you. Ochako said, looking even more confused. Izuku laughed. Eri told me about her days with Baku-chan. She doesn't tell you because she knows you don't like him. Ochako clicked her tongue. Izuku continued. Apparently he's a good babysitter, though he still puts up a front that he can't stand her. Nature walks. Good with kids. If it weren't for that attitude of his, you would think Ka-chan was a saint. Izuku chuckled. Ochako was not finding this funny, however. I don't buy it. Bakugo good with kids. Bakugo liking calm things. No way, she said with a frustrated look, eyes glued to the plate she was drying. Izuku frowned. Ocha, why do you hate Ka-chan so much? Izuku asked, preparing himself for the oncoming explosion. Ochako quickly turned to him. Bekatsu, Izuku, he bullied you so harshly as a kid. He's been rude to you the entirety of this year. He's mean, he's inconsiderate, he's always picking fights with you, he doesn't want to help Hima. But what about all the good he's done? Izuku said, folding his arms. What good? Getting captured by all for one. If he had asked for your help, he probably wouldn't have gotten captured. And he's still mean to you after you and the others saved him. That was low and you know it, Ochako. Ka-chan has saved lives. He fought by our side during everything. He's been changing for the better. He aspires to be a hero. Didn't you used to admire the rivalry between us? Yay, that was before I knew the whole truth. Ochako said, folding the drying towel and leaving it on the counter, her full focus on Izuku now. Exactly. You do know the whole truth. You know he helps me with One for All. You know he supports me in his own way by training with me, and there's one thing you cannot deny at all. Izuku said, holding up a finger. Ochako raised an eyebrow. And that is? She asked. He protected me from Iida during our fight. You told me that yourself. Ochako bit her lip, remembering that day. Izuku allowed his words to sink in before walking forward and wrapping his arms around her. Ochako buried her face in his neck. Ocha, it's true. He's done some pretty terrible things in the past. I know better than anyone else. But I've chosen to forgive him. He has been by my side, begrudgingly, yes, but they're all the same. I think you should try to forgive him. Ochako sighed into Izuku's neck. She hated when he was right about these things. Fine, she said in his neck. Izuku smiled and hugged her tighter. Why are you guys just standing there? Eri asked. Ochako and Izuku looked down to see a small Eri staring back up at them. We're just having a moment together, my love. What's up? I thought you were with Bakugo. Ochako asked, saying Bakugo's name a bit harshly. Izuku sighed a bit at that. Well, she wouldn't change immediately. He kicked me out his room. He said he had enough shitty little runt videos for today. Eri said. Ochako shot a dangerous look at Izuku, who gulped. Speak with him. Izuku said. Ochako squinted her eyes, releasing Izuku and walked towards their room. I've got homework to do, Izu. In fact, you have things to do as well. Ochako said. Izuku raised an eyebrow. You need to check on Hima today, and it's about time you start practicing with Eri to use her quirk again. Isn't that right, Eri? Yay, quirk training, Eri yelled, running and jumping into Izuku's arms. Izuku chuckled, spinning Eri around. Quirk training it is, Izuku said happily. It was amazing how Eri had changed. The girl had went from a fearful, scarred little girl to one who was now excited to learn more about her quirk. All right, Eri, I'll race you outside. Izuku said, putting Eri down, allowing her a head start. Ochako watched as the two took off before feeling a light vibration in her jean shorts. She reached down and took her flip phone out of her pocket. She smiled and answered the phone. Hi, Mom. What's up? What do you mean you're in Hokkaido? Okay, Eri. You remember what we used to do when I didn't have my quirk right? Izuku asked. Eri nodded vigorously. Izuku and her sat on the ground. Izuku also taking this as a moment to train his own quirk. One of the other things on his mind is he hadn't been able to connect to OFA since Nana had taken over. Did Nana overuse it? Was that possible? Before the two could start, however, Ochako opened the front door to the cabin, revealing herself to them. Izuku, training has to wait. Where stories live. Discover now.